we need three views today, and one is logout. Sorry, one is of course logout, login, and the register one. So let's create those three views immediately. Those three views, let's create them views inside of student app. So let's create it just below home here. So we define and say login. So we just want something to be returned. So let's change this to a response proper. So we want this to be response. We get this response from REST framework, by the way. So from REST framework, we were able to generate response. So that response, we are generating a response like that. So we want to just put a response here. We'll do same thing for register like that, and then we'll do the same thing for logout. Now we need to make sure these decorators are on each of these, if not we'll be running into an error. So just like that, put them there, and they should all be posts like that. So with this, we have the views that we'll be needing. We just want to make sure that everything is working just as it is before we start fleshing out each of these views or function that you are looking at. So the next important thing we need to do is to come down here and work on the URLs. Okay, so we'll do, let's make sure we import everything we need: login, register, and logout. So here in the path, we want to do that for login. We also want to do for register, and then we want to do that for logout. Great. All right, we're making progress. So save that, and then you could check this in many ways. Well, okay, we didn't save the views we created here, so I'm noticing an error. So you could check this in many ways. So for example, we already showed here how we could check for students. So if you do, say for example, login, you should have login here. You should also have register like that. You see it's showing up. But the best way to check this, especially because it's a post request, is to do it inside of our test.rest file. So the test.rest file is like Postman. So we've been able to do this too. So currently we are at test.rest. So test.rest is just like Postman, but it's interactive inside of your VS Code. We use it to test out endpoints that have been created, and it's really cool because it provides us with all the tools we need to test out any endpoints. This will be happening right here inside of our browser. But before you do that, you need to make sure that you have been able to install the REST client. So let's make sure we're seeing that properly. So make sure you install the REST client, which is this first one. I have it installed already. Install it, enable it if you have to. If you don't do that, your file would not be interactive. That's just it basically. So now we want to create the file. The file will be test.rest like that. Hit enter. Now for the three endpoints we have created now, before you begin any one, in order to make sure it's interactive, you start with a 3 hashtag like this. So when you start with a 3 hashtag now, it knows that the next call you want to make, or the next line of code, should be a call like that. So you do a post. So you see immediately it gives us like a button here that says send request. Then for you not to run into an error, make sure you don't put the URL inside of a string, because I've done that in the past and it really took me hours to debug. So put it like this, and then make sure you add the endpoint complete like this, not this. All right, like so. And so okay, let's have the content type like that, and this is basically it. So now that it's interactive and this is for login, to make sure it's working, so let's click on send request. Notice that it tells us login page, which is exactly what we have here. So if we also do this, let's close this off. If we also do this for register, it should just be exactly the same thing. So let's just copy this and paste it, change this to, and say this is register like so. For this we'll be adding maybe email, email, so test@gmail.com like that. Now another thing you should not do is add a comma here. Once you add a it's really a comma like that that's hanging, it's going to keep showing you an error JSON stuff, like expecting quotation mark and stuff like that. Just bear all this in mind so that you don't run into any error. So with this, when you try this out too, you should have register page, and we could do exactly the same thing for the logout. So for the logout, we'll not be doing much, so let's change this. Let's just do logout, and let's keep this like this and try it. It shows us logout page, which means our test is working, and that is really great. So